Hey, happy Eat What You Want Day, all you beautiful radio listeners. Thank you for dropping in our little happy hour. We appreciate you listening. If you're watching us on YouTube, here's a hand gesture just for you. You're welcome. YouTubers, feel free to hit us up on the chat if you're listening on the radio through 105.1 The Fan FM, 1080 AM, online at 105.1thefan.com, Odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, or you just ask your smart speaker to show me what Lowercase did with Happy Hour's PGA Championship Open. And this is what you got. Use the fan text line. It's 503-2-GO-FAN. That's 503-864-6326. Use it. Use the text. Use the chat. Share your thoughts. Ask questions. Solicit advice. Or answer me this, dear listeners. Is it fire or the fire? Lowercase, if we wanted to start today's show by talking WNBA, should I ask you if you caught the fire this weekend? Or should I ask you if you caught fire this weekend?
You should ask me if I caught fire this weekend, because that sounds better.
Doesn't it? That's what I was thinking. I was trying to figure out how to do this. Before we get to that, how you feeling about your open?
I liked it. I was worried as soon as your mic got turned on
that I was just going to jump in and crush it.
Yeah.
I think we can tighten it up a little bit.
I think we can, too.
Okay. It's good effort. We got assigned the Happy Gilmore Open, and we'll work on it. But I do want to talk a historic weekend. For the first time in 24 years, the WNBA is back. I caught fire this weekend. Did you catch fire this weekend?
I caught a little bit of fire.
Caught a little bit of fire. I will tell you, here's the thing. Saturday night, I went to Moda Center to catch fire.
Saw some Ashanti.
I did see some Ashanti. Ashanti was fine. Her dancers could use a little work. Pretty sure it was like the B team of your high school dance team out there, just kind of shuffling. Same song too, so it was like wasn't the best.
And is it that they're trying to have to keep up with Ashanti, or is it?
Nah, Ashanti just kind of swayed at center court. I mean, she was doing her thing. She was fine. It's not like she played a bunch of her new hits. She knew what she was there for.
You'd be foolish to think otherwise.
She showed up, did what she was supposed to do. Whatever. The wild thing, and I was talking with somebody that I met for the game, one of our great clients here at the Fan, met them up for the game, and we kind of had the same conversation. It was fairly chaotic.
Was it mesmerizing?
No. Well, here's the thing. I got there.
I'm going to keep dropping Ashanti references.
As you should. You keep doing that, and I will get very few of them. Not the reason that I went to the game. As you know, I have daughters. They play basketball. Hey, this will be a good experience. Got to have some kids tag along, both myself and the guy that I met up with there. And we were having this conversation. It was what you would call disorderly. It was surprising because we get there with maybe 15 minutes to opening tip, and there is still huge lines outside of Moda Center. Now, in fairness to the Fire, there were more people trying to assist people getting into the arena than I have ever seen at any event that I've ever been to. Lucky enough to have club seats, so they've got the little club entrance. So I'm like, oh, don't worry. These lines look crazy. Don't worry. I know where we can go in. We've got tickets that allow us kind of a little VIP access. Well, what I did not know, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this going to a Blazers game, did you know that the club entrance is also where you go to check your bag if you brought a bag with no clue how arenas work? And you have to check said bag instead of going back to your car. So I don't know what they charge for the bag check. That was more people than I had ever seen in that line that I did not know existed. There were hundreds of people checking bags because my guess is a lot of these people had never been to a sporting event or had never been to Moda Center. It was kind of cool. I mean, that means that the WNBA is bringing out people that have never been to a Blazers game, have not been to concerts there. There was 19,335 people, a new record for an expansion team in the WNBA, which is fantastic. What was really wild was sitting directly behind me, and I never turned around because I didn't want to break the image that I had in my head. But behind me, either the row behind or the row behind that, there was a family that was there. And it sounded like the mom was explaining how sporting events worked. Not how the game of basketball was played, and not like, oh, there's 5 people on each team and they're playing against each other, trying to get none of that. It was just the atmosphere and experience that was going on, like pointing out where scoreboards are. Oh, you can see this if you'd like to know that. This is what that is. At one point during the game, there was an official's timeout. And the crowd, the raucous crowd of 19,000 plus, all started doing the wave. The mom has to explain what the hell is going on to these kids who were not tiny, mind you. They sounded like they were probably middle school. Was explaining what the wave was. Well, you see, at sporting events, what happens is you get this crowd of people and they get this energy and they start doing this. It's called the wave. So just watch. It's going to try to go around the entire place. The kids are like, well, this is bizarre. And then they're watching as the sea of people raise their hands in unison as it goes around. And then it gets to us and they're like, whoa, what an experience. One of the children says to the other, that is oddly satisfying. Then it comes around again. Just very satisfying. Comes around a third time. Quite satisfying. Satisfying was the word they kept using. It was hilarious. The people watching was wonderful. The thing that shocked me above all else, I could not believe how many Chicago Sky fans I saw there.
Really?
Yeah.
They came out.
They 100% came out. Wasn't a ton of them. They were right on the court. There was at least 4 of them, and they were in referee uniforms. I mean, it was terrible. Can I get a call? What are you doing? Give my Fire some love. It was BS. Can't have that. No? Is that good?
Are you saying that the referees weren't
Yes, they were
down for you?
They were not. No, I see. See, now, there. I told you I might get some. Very good. Did you have to pull up the list of Ashanti songs?
Yeah, after the first 2.
Okay, well, at least I caught what you were doing.
I got 2 of
Do
them.
I know the song? Could I sing the melody? Absolutely not. But I saw what you did there. It's very good. So good for you on that. But hey, thanks to everybody that supported the Fire. It was awesome. Like, there was not a person in that arena that was not wearing some sort of gear for the Fire. It felt like, you know what they had on all of the seat backs when you got there?
T-shirts.
You know that they did. You know that they did, but there was hats and sweatshirts and whatever. My daughter that came with me, she was like, can I get a sweatshirt? Like the branding, the enthusiasm, the whole thing was, it was great. It was fun. And,
Sweatshirts they any good?
well, I didn't get her a sweatshirt. I'm like, you got to make it to at least 3 games before you don't go to one game, declare yourself a fan. You need to put in some time, some hours.
You need to see a few more losses.
I'll tell you what, Tuesday and Thursday, you better be sitting down watching those games if they're broadcast anywhere other than the Fan. You can listen to them right through the Fan Sports Network, and we'll get you all that information tomorrow as we get closer to game time so that you can have it. But here's what I'm saying, is you can't just be a fair weather fan. You can't just go to the first game and just buy yourself a sweatshirt. I don't know what they were charging for them, but I was not waiting in that line because it was wrapped around the 100 level when we were leaving.
You can catch tomorrow's game against the Liberty on 9:10 a.m.
There you go.
Pregame starts at 6:45.
Perfect. See? Look at lowercase with all the information that you need. And we have them again on Thursday. The Liberty are in town for a set of 2. Didn't I suggest this for the NBA? Why don't, if you're worried about fatigue and too much travel, just play them in series. So the Liberty here for 2 games, yes?
Also a 6:45 tip.
See, there you go. And also on 9:10?
That'd be right.
Yeah, ESPN Portland. It's right there for you. I mean, honestly, what does this station not have that you might want? Unfortunately, I'll tell you what we might not have. Well, I've told you for weeks now. June 23rd, Toyota presents the Fan Golf Classic at Langdon Farms. I'll tell you what we don't have for you. We don't have any more afternoon rounds. They're sold out. There's less than 10 in the morning round. It's getting tight. I told you that it would be. Is that applause for the people that already purchased, or is it for those bums that I've been telling they've been thinking about in the afternoon round and missed out on it?
Yes.
Amen to that. It's the most fun day of golf. Activations and tastings around the course. Of course, the infamous Angels Envy Bourbon Par 3 6th hole, where all of our hosts, Dirt and Sprague, Danny and Patrick, myself, Isaac and Suk, will be posted up to heckle or admire your shots. Of course, we'll keep you fed with the post-round meal thanks to Matt's Barbecue. Head to 1051thefan.com. Click on the Fan Golf Classic logo for more information or to sign up today. The Fan Golf Classic, presented by Toyota, is also brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson and Daughter Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Mastro Dobel Tequila, Your Neighborhood Restaurant Group, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto-Rooter, A Legal Mezcal, and Window Nation. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm sorry, before we get to the jokes, we got to talk about something serious. I'm sorry, Blazers fans. Yes, it's true. Mike Schmitz is no longer part of the Blazers organization. And I know that you probably didn't put any thought into Mike Schmitz at all until you found out he's leaving. And like Blazers fans do, they're like, oh, I thought that guy was going to be our next GM. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. Why do we do that? Every time somebody leaves, they were great. He literally just got fined and suspended for going and getting a guy that played how many meaningful minutes this season? Calm down. Just shut up. Anybody that was, oh, that was our guy. Really? Your third assistant GM?
What, did he play 82 minutes all year?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That's a minute a game.
He played more with the remix than he did. But you know what? Number one in jersey sales. So, whatever. Yang Han-Sen. The guy that got us Yang Han-Sen is leaving? Yeah, maybe he ends up being great and whatever. But there's other guys out there. Just shut up. Let's do some in case you missed it. In case you missed it, Washington won the NBA draft lottery, and the Wizards team president Michael Winger shockingly admitted the team will consider trading down from the number one overall pick instead of automatically drafting consensus top prospect A.J. Dembonsa. Now we're talking. You thought tanking for the number one pick was the worst thing the NBA could do? Nope. Leave it to the Wizards to actually tank the number one overall pick itself. It's amazing. Let's go. Better than the Pacers, who tanked one of the top picks, but unfortunately the ping pong balls bounced the wrong way, and they ended up losing their pick to the Clippers at number 5. NBA basketball. Catch the fever, headache, indigestion, nausea, upset stomach, nasal congestions, temporary mild changes to tinted vision, blurred vision, sensitivity to light, back or muscle pain. Seek medical care if one of the more serious side effects occurs: sudden loss of vision in one or both eyes, sudden decrease of hearing loss, heart attack, stroke, irregular heartbeats, other often occurring in men with heart issues, severe allergic reactions. Symptoms include wheezing, fast breathing, swelling of the face, throat, or rash. In some rare cases, NBA fans reported suicidal thoughts, increased violence towards household objects, and loose, oily stools. Start your fandom with a tanking NBA franchise today. We have to read all of those. Sorry, I wanted to get out of it, but we're required.
That was great. That was worth it.
Good. In case you missed it, the Minnesota Vikings are hosting a, quote, true competition at the quarterback position this offseason. Can you imagine how tough it must be to be Kyler Murray? First, you have to replace Cardinals legend Josh Rosen, and now you have to beat out future first ballot Hall of Famer J.J. McCarthy just for a starting job. No wonder Kyler spends most of his time playing Space Invaders instead of watching film. Stress of being a true quarterback competition. In case you missed it, Joel Embiid officially confused 76ers fans by declaring this season a success simply because his knee held up right after the team was swept by the Knicks in a 30-point blowout. Yeah, both of the 76ers fans that showed up were like, what the hell, man? Come on. But honestly, I'm with Embiid. That's reason to be excited. Embiid has averaged only 49 games over his 10-year career. With his knee finally being healthy, he can actually spend time this summer working on his game instead of rehabbing. It's great news. A healthy Embiid for a full season means that the Sixers have hope for a brand new, creative way to let down their tens of fans. It is going to be this. The Knicks didn't just sweep the Sixers. They performed a hostile takeover of the entire city. Tyrese Maxey admitted that it, quote, sucked to have their own arena taken over by Knicks fans. Josh Hart, who literally went to college in Philadelphia, publicly questioned whether Philly is even considered a sports town anymore. Even Nike piled on with a, quote, too much to process ad. Honestly, I haven't seen a team get roasted by this many angles since, well, every time the Sixers have been mentioned in a conversation since Y2K. But other than that, name a time. Poor Sixers, man. Are they not the biggest punchline?
Again, Josh Hart disrespecting the Philly fans? Good luck with that.
All of those things signal that it's not great for the Philly. Dude, did you see the video of the reporters getting overwhelmed by Knicks fans?
Oh, yeah. It was great.
It is bad. In case you missed it, Victor Wembanyama was tossed from Game 4 for elbowing Naz Reid. This is his first ejection of his career. Look, interpret the play how you want, but Victor continues to show us things that we've never seen before. After watching the replay of that elbow to the neck, I had to go back and watch classic film, and I'm convinced if Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had a move like that, there's no way he loses to Bruce Lee in Game of Death. There is no... It's actually not a joke. I went back and watched the Bruce Lee Game of Death fight with Kareem after seeing that. Spurs coach Mitch Johnson fiercely defended Victor Wembanyama's Game 4 ejection, arguing that officials have failed to protect his star from, quote, excessive physicality. But if you actually heard and watched the comments, you know Johnson was just trying to stay on Wemby's good side. If Victor is this comfortable being violent in public, just imagine what kind of abuse Mitch has to put up with behind closed doors. It feels less like backing a player and more like Stockholm Syndrome. It was not, but it worked. It worked. No suspension for Wembanyama. I'm sure that Adam Silver's black eyes are just a total coincidence. I wouldn't look into it any further. And finally, in case you missed it, Hornets star LaMelo Ball and his partner Annalisa Chavez revealed that their newborn son is going to be named LaOne. Nice name. It's a wonderful name. Congratulations on being the youngest person ever to be sued by Lance Armstrong. LaOne Ball. Come on, are you telling me that's not a trademark infringement? Didn't see that coming, did you? Who would have thought that a basketball family would name one of their kids after a cyclist? It doesn't make a ton of sense to me. Thanks to our studio audience. Hey, at 2:30, we're going to play the fun game we called Tape Don't Lie. Casey has made selections of the dumbest things that I said last week. I'll have to defend, deny, or accept the dumbest things that I said. But next, we need to get highlights from a disappointing weekend for the Seattle Mariners. The Timbers did something that they have never done before, and it's actually good. And someone throw a bucket of cold water on Justin Herbert and let him know that he's got a brand new weapon that has nothing to do with dry humping his girlfriend in music videos. So it should be very exciting. We'll do that next in the Daily Buzz. This is Happy Hour on 105.1 The Fan.
The most fun day.
Well, another disappointing weekend for your Seattle Mariners. Such a promising start Friday night. You have a 12-8 victory, 7 RBI for Luke Raley, 2 home runs, a 3-run shot, and a grand slam.
6 home runs in the game alone?
Oh, well, there was 4 solo shots by the White Sox, 2 home runs for Luke Raley. It was a ton of fun. Then the bats just go absolutely dead on Saturday and Sunday. Yesterday, you get a beautiful start from Logan Gilbert. He goes 6 innings, allows 1 hit, strikes out. Did he strike out 9 or 10? It doesn't matter. They couldn't do anything. They give up 2 runs late, and the White Sox get their home series win against the Seattle Mariners. It was kind of a fun weekend. Rick Riz, it's his only trip to Chicago this season. Riz is retiring at the end of the year, grew up in Chicago, started his play-by-play career there. So it was kind of fun to go down memory lane with him. So the broadcast was fun. The whole experience was good. But the White Sox, better than I expected them to be this season at least, and it is absolutely another disappointing weekend. And now you go into the second half of the Vetter Cup, and you really need to get things turned back in the right direction. Let's look at a couple other things.
The Buzz.
For your Seattle Mariners, Bryce Miller is expected to return, and manager Dan Wilson announced that they are going to temporarily shift to a 6-man rotation. I don't know if I love this idea. That means you go 1 day longer at least before you get to the guys that are pitching well. Luis Castillo, who has not been great, will stay in the rotation there instead of moving him to the bullpen or a phantom IL visit or whatever it is. So even if Bryce Miller comes up and is effective, you're going to get him less often. Emerson Hancock, who has been great, will get less chances. Logan Gilbert, who has been really good, will get less chances. And Brian Wu, who only has the 1 hiccup on the season, will miss another spot in the rotation. So I do not love this, but at least that is the plan. And the good news is you are getting Bryce Miller back. Elsewhere in Mariners news, if you go down to the lower levels of Mariners baseball, Baseball America came out with their top 100 prospects, and 2 Mariners made the top 10, Colt Emerson and Cade Anderson. You wonder if this slow or mediocre start for the Mariners means that you might have to change things up, which means potentially bringing up a guy that has a .6 ERA, 47 strikeouts in 30 innings, and would be your only left-handed starter. We talked to Gary Hill Jr. a couple weeks ago. Your first regular lefty in your starting rotation since James Paxton. Maybe we do something that changes up something that is happening. Colt Emerson, on the other hand, hitting .246 with 6 home runs in 31 games at AAA. So maybe we just switch things up. I don't know. Who knows what they'll do, but I do not love the 6-man rotation. To me, just blah.
Yeah, not a fan of it, especially when your arms aren't producing the way you want it to.
The thing is, everybody other than Castillo, who is your veteran, who is one of your anchors, has just really not been good. So it took him 78 pitches or whatever it was the other day to get 12 outs. I know we love him, and who's the Rock. Just see if he can do something from the bullpen, or that shoulder delay. That hurt you?
Got some tightness
ooh,
here?
yeah, that bugging you much? Oh yeah, looks like that oblique, that right side seems to be bothering you. Just come on, just don't be dumb, please.
The Buzz.
Hey, your Portland Timbers 6-0 against, what are they called? Something
Sporting Kansas City.
Something Kansas. I know that they are. What does that even mean? Sporting Kansas City. Hey, sporting effort, they're chums. 6-0 is the largest margin of victory in Portland Timbers history. I don't know what that says about a sport where 6-0 is the biggest victory that you've ever had, but hey, sounds like a whooping of the old-fashioned kind in soccer land, so good on you, Timbers.
Largest margin of victory since May of 2022 when we beat Sporting Kansas City 7-2.
So, and that was a 5-goal differential. There you go. So just play Sporting Kansas City more. Seems like a pretty simple strategy.
The Buzz.
Speaking of firsts, the first sweep of the New York Yankees at the hands of the Milwaukee Brewers since 1989. Bryce Terang launching a walk-off home run on Mother's Day to complete the sweep. You seemed very confident about said New York Yankees when we talked about them on Thursday. Am I wrong? Am I misremembering?
I think you are a little bit wrong because I still have very high regards for Pat Murphy, and Pat Murphy's squad does dangerous things when they play baseball well.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if they can finally get over their little playoff hump. Of course, they have to go through the National League that includes the Los Angeles Dodgers and
The Buzz.
the Philadelphia Phillies. Don't look now. They are now in second place in the National League East. Now, don't get too excited about that. The entire division is under 500 other than the Atlanta Braves, who are 6.5 games ahead of said Philadelphia Phillies. But the guy that you need to watch, Kyle Schwarber, 5 home runs in the last 4 games. He went 1 home run, 1 home run, 1 home run, 2 home runs yesterday. So that is 4 games in a row with home runs, 5 in 4 tries. Puts him tied for the top of the league with 16 home runs. I told you, the more guys that can dive into this home run race, whether it's Mooney, whether it's Schwarber, whether it's Judge, whoever it is, so far, balls seem to be absolutely flying out of ballparks across baseball. Now, the Mariners aren't really contributing to that. I think Luke Raley still leads the team in home runs. Not exactly what you're looking for from a team that was led by a catcher with 60 home runs for the first time in the history of catchers. But I digress. Kyle Schwarber is a fun guy to watch when he is just ripping the cover off the ball, and he has proceeded to do so.
The Buzz.
Elsewhere in baseball, the Dodgers are one of those teams that is doing what was expected of them. For all the teams that have had rough starts and all of that, the Dodgers not one of them. And, good news, they're getting Mookie Betts back, who's been out since April 4th when he was designated to the IL. Now, he was not hitting great before that, hence the IL stint, hitting 179 before the injury on April 4th. But he will be joining Dave Roberts' team as they move forward. Yay! Look at the wealth of riches. Aren't we all very excited for you?
The Buzz.
And finally, tight end David Njoku will join the Los Angeles Chargers on a 1-year deal. This is the Browns' all-time most productive tight end, giving Herbert another weapon. The tight end has 34 touchdowns and 384 receptions. Sorry, second in Browns history all-time. Let's walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Center.
This SportsCenter update is brought to you by 808 Hawaiian Restaurant. Mixed plates like Grandma used to make if your grandma were from the Big Island. Woodstock, Burnside, Beaverton, or online at ate-oh-ate.com. First on the fan, the Pittsburgh Steelers have locked down their king. Well, the Steelers have extended kicker Chris Boswell to a 4-year, I believe it's $28 million deal. Well, now it's making him the tied for the highest paid NFL kicker contract in NFL history, tied with Brandon Aubrey. And just a little bit of a stat rehash for you. Who do you think is the best kicker in NFL history?
Best kicker in NFL history? We're talking from an accuracy standpoint, points scored. Because Justin Tucker was up there, but he kind of fell off the edge a little bit at the end. Not only professionally, but personally as well.
Well, Steven Gostkowski, him and Justin Tucker were fighting for the top spot in all the blog posts, as I should say. Well, Adam Vinatieri has a career field goal percentage of 84.3%. Chris Boswell, 84.4%. Chris Boswell also has a higher extra point percentage.
So at the end of this contract, he will be 39?
39, and possibly the greatest kicker in NFL history.
Yeah, I like the Brandon Aubrey signing a little bit better for the dollars, but again, it's kicker money, so the largest kicker contract ever does not affect your salary cap nearly as much as the highest quarterback does. And the good news is Pittsburgh won't have to worry about that for a while because their quarterback room looks like wet, hot garbage.
And for more sports scores and stories in 60 minutes, I'm Lowercase from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for the Oregon
then you fail to win. Dude, that game was over at halftime. So what do? Let's rest
On to
up.
the next one.
Let's rest up, boys,
Be a
and let's
fun
get
flight
ready
back.
for the next one. So, yeah, I'll be interested to see what that is.
Well, home court advantage in the NBA playoffs is real significant. Home court advantage historically wins home teams roughly win 74% of the series from between 2009 and 2018, while the advantage is generally around 54 to 60% across all playoff games.
Game by game, what I'd really be curious about, because I looked at this earlier in the postseason, and I didn't go and do. I'd like to see this round by round. Does the home court advantage carry through as you get closer to the finals? Because 8 seeds versus 1 seeds, 7 seeds versus 2 seeds, even 6-3 versus 6 seeds versus 3 seeds. Those feel very automatic in the NBA very often. Certainly 7s and 8 seeds don't win very often in this league. It happens a lot more in the NHL, who plays at the same time in a similar format. But as you go on, when it's the 1 seed versus the 2 seed, does it play out the same way? When it's a 3 seed and a 4 seed, does it play out the same way? So as the rounds progress, I'd be very curious about this, because most times in basketball, the better team wins when you have 7 games to do it. That's why the tournament is so much fun to watch in college basketball, because one game, anything can happen.
Like I said, it's around 54 to 60% across all playoff games. It's most pronounced in the second round.
Okay.
Roughly 63.6% of the time you get the win.
Yeah, but the total is, and that's in individual games or in series.
Historically, 56 of 77 teams with home court advantage in the NBA Finals have won the championship.
Okay.
That's the championship.
Yeah.
The percentages go up in the second round, but still around 50 to 60% in the first.
Well, hey, Minnesota took care of business after Wembanyama was exiting the game, nursing an elbow that had a bunch of neck on it and felt all, tired for him. So it was not exactly automatic. I mean, that's what we saw in the Blazers series. Just because Wembanyama's not there doesn't mean that team is going to completely fall apart. But dude, you get Ant out there playing with everything he's got, and he dedicated the game to his mother. He looked awesome. So now you've got an even series. You've got a 3-game best of 3 the rest of the way. That might be the most intriguing of all the series. I mean, I know Cleveland got a win against the Pistons, so you've got a little action there. But there's at least 2
And
series.
they're back in Cleveland tonight.
Yep, at least 2 series in the second round look like they'll be interesting. But I'm keeping a close eye on Minnesota and San Antonio. Yankees, White Sox. I know I dismissed the Angels.
Yankees, White Sox.
I'm sorry, Mariners. I'm looking at Yankees, Brewers, and Mariners, White Sox. Mariners, White Sox. I want to talk about the White Sox. And I don't know why I want to talk about the White Sox. They're one of the teams that is leading the league in bunts, not sacrifice bunts, but they're right up there with bunting, which is delightful. Mariners, I know I had a lot of faith in you to beat the Royals last weekend. And it felt like you're at home. You're coming back from a 5-win road trip in 6 games. You're looking good. We're at 500 to end the month of April. Don't lose to the White Sox.
Munetaka Murakami.
Shut up.
I'm going to say it again.
Yeah, you.
Munetaka Murakami.
Dude, Vargas was the guy, man. Like that White Sox team, that lineup was just smoking the ball. And it was, the first game you get 12 runs for the Seattle Mariners, looking good. They got outscored in the series overall because the White Sox stayed in that one. They ended up scoring 8. But to be shut down, to have 1 run in each of the final 2 games was just really disappointing. That was a pretty good matchup. What's the kid's name from Chicago? Davis Martin. Looked really good. Low scoring game. You get a single run in the first inning, and you're feeling good that, all right, you'll get more runs and add something else on as the game goes on. Davis Martin shut them down for the rest of his innings out there. Logan Gilbert only gave up the 1 hit in 6 innings, and then it gets to the bullpen. The Mariners can't figure it out. And yesterday's game was really disappointing. I had plenty of time. My wife gets to celebrate Mother's Day however she wants, and that was by not spending time with any of us. So I got to sit there and watch the game. The kids are watching it with me. Why is everybody wearing pink? I'm like, oh, it's Mother's Day. This is what they do around baseball. I threw up the multi-screen. I'm watching 4 games at once and watching the Mariners just slowly, inning by inning, do nothing after the first. They get the bases loaded in the 7th and get out of it. And then 2 runs in the 8th, and game over. I don't want to say it's getting tough to watch the Mariners because they're in the games, but it is getting to the point where you just go, how can you individually have guys doing so well outside of the core part of your lineup, and then your guys? I mean, they moved Cal Raleigh out of the number 2 spot for the first time in quite a while, and it is something where you need a jolt. You have young guys. Put them in there. Call them up. See if it just changes the dynamic of this team. That's what the Blue Jays did last year. That's what the Tigers did. They had guys you never heard of in the postseason making big hits and having, big-time performances. Guys that, were not in the bigs until June, July, August. We're getting to that point, Mariners. Everybody that you had that played really well last year is not doing what they were expected to do. So just change it up. What's the harm? You're not gonna ruin these guys' careers by bringing up too early. I don't want to hear it anymore. You need a jolt of energy, young guys. That's what I'm asking for. Fair?
That's all I got for you.
All right. Well, let's do one more for the road. Sports roasts, athletes joining comedian roast.
Did you watch it all?
I didn't watch it all. We will discuss. And one more for the road. We will do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 and the Fan Sports Network.
The Fan Golf.
Missed any part of this show, past shows, future shows, find the podcast, 1051thefan.com, odyssey.com, the Odyssey app, or our podcast is now the third post-credit scene if you buy the new complete Marvel Universe collection, Happy Hour edition, so you can get all of that. Casey, what are the people saying on the chats and the text toy that we need to address?
Not La2, not La3, not La4. La1.
La1. If he has multiple children and it becomes La1, La2, La3 balls, I mean, come on.
And would you rather be a Sixers fan or a Browns fan?
Ooh, that is an ugly choice. Honestly, I would rather be a Browns fan because they're in the NFL. Like the NBA has got a lot wrong with it.
And 82 versus 18.
Yeah, it is not specifically a Sixers problem. The Sixers and the process, I mean, that is just a punch. They have been such a punchline, and they're one of those. As far as success, they've been a postseason team. They've been there. They were a weird bounce on a Kawhi Leonard from going to the Eastern Conference, or would that have been to go to the Eastern Conference Finals? That wouldn't have been to go to the NBA Finals, but
I'm trying to remember.
yeah, I think it was to go and play the Celtics. Either way, you're right there in these moments. Joel Embiid has been good when available, but he hasn't been available. But, dude, I'd rather watch the Browns and Myles Garrett and the parade. The NFL is just more entertaining. I'm sorry. Even the worst teams in the NFL are more fun to watch. And hope is renewed at the beginning of each season in the NFL. I know the Browns aren't the team to do it, but everybody else has gone from worst to first at least once in their franchise history. So you got a chance? I don't think the Sixers ever do it. And that's just because the NBA, it's the way that you build a team is pure luck. I'm convinced that's the only way to be successful. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is traded from the Clippers and becomes the guy, and Paul George is garbage for the Clippers. You don't know what you're trying to figure out there. Once you get a guy, you hold on to him. All right, we need to move on. Let's do
One more
the Friars Roast. Got broadcast on Comedy Central years and years ago, and then Comedy Central realized that just having a bunch of old comedians that hang out at the Friars Club telling jokes about each other in a setting that was really for each other wasn't as commercially viable as putting in celebrities and putting in stars from Screen and whatever.
And Jeff Ross.
And it kind of changed it. Well, at least he's a comedian. He's part of the fraternity. Now the Kevin Hart roast is Tom Brady and Draymond Green. And I'll admit, I only watched the highlights. First of all, Tom Brady is always awkward and increasingly awkward. And apparently he's shopping at the David Hasselhoff estate sale to get his clothing. And I don't know what that was. But I watched those clips, and maybe it was out of context for me. But a big, hearty meh for Tom Brady. But that's kind of what I give him for any appearance.
If I could rank it so far,
yeah, you watch the whole thing. I did not watch
everything but Kevin Hart's final monologue.
Okay,
this is what I'm doing after this.
Gotcha.
Chelsea Handler killed it so far.
Did not. I did watch some of the Draymond Green jokes, and everybody was going after Draymond, and kind of funny. I don't know why he was there. Are him and Kevin Hart buddies?
It's because he is not in the playoffs anymore.
It's just because he had nothing
and
better to do.
That was the joke that they made is, Draymond, you're here because you're not playing basketball
Doesn't
anymore.
it feel like they're trying really hard to make Draymond the next Charles Barkley, and I could do without that?
Yeah, I'm very much for that.
You're for it?
I'm for it
Okay.
in the sense that I think he provides a little bit of a spice that people are like, God,
Right.
this guy.
Okay, so Chelsea Handler.
I think Shane Gillis had a really great performance.
Shane Gillis.
Jeff Ross and Tony Hinchcliffe, again, good roasters, performances.
Okay.
Pete Davidson might be back. He might. He's got
your doppelganger up there?
He might have again, I have to vote for him. Whenever he does well, people start calling me Pete Davidson
it's good
more.
His success is your success.
Exactly.
That's great. All right. Big thanks to Casey Smith, of course. Thanks to everybody that listened. We can't leave without thanking Isaac Rupp. We're all done. For now. Bye-bye.
always